Hey everybody, my name is Greg, and today I'm going to take you on a journey into my head. Scary, I know, but I'm going to share with you my process and my decision making and all the steps that I go through when I make an illustration. Now we're going to take a look at a handful of drawings I did on the iPad Pro using Procreate, and you're going to be with me the whole time. Now, if you do want to see more of that stuff, you can check out my Instagram. There's a link in the description below. But if not, just kick back and enjoy the ride. So let's start at the beginning with an idea. And specifically, how do you come up with an idea? I came up with this when I was just home doodling on my couch with my dog sitting next to me. And I remember, just kind of thinking, I don't really know how to draw a dog. Maybe I'll draw Lucy. And I'd also remembered like my wife had just bought this really cool new jacket that's like big and kind of mustard yellow and almost this like cool square shape. And I was like, maybe I'll just do like a little family portrait here. So I started doodling the two of them just standing there, like what would they look like if they were out on a walk or something. And that's kind of where I came up with this fundamental theme. Then when I started going out into the world, I would start paying attention to people walking their dogs and their fashion choices and what they were wearing. And I started to generate this kind of overall theme of Year of the Dog. But what if it was Year of the Dog Walkers instead? That was enough. At that point, I had a theme to work with. So when I wanted to make a new drawing, I didn't have to sit there and scratch my head and say, oh, well, what do I draw today? I could just say, okay, new dog walker. I made that first drawing and that was great. That was cool. And I decided, this was going to be my theme moving forward. So what I wanted to do is establish a set of rules for myself to make it even easier to produce. And I find that really helps me, and I'm not trying to invent things every time I sit down to do something. So my rules are really simple. One character, one dog breed, no background, just a solid color, and it needs to work in the square format. And that was my box. At this stage, I had a theme, I had some rules, I had a general direction I was going. So let's talk about what happens next. The idea is in place. I'm kind of getting ready to draw at this point. But before I do that, and before I make a single mark, I sort of like mentally plan what I imagine the end result looking like. And this all goes on in my head. So I'm thinking about, okay, like who is this character and what dog breed are they paired with? Where I typically start is just Google image search. I'll look up reference for what the character is wearing, like what is their fashion style? What's their hair like and how are they standing? What does their body language tell us? And I go until I find something that really kind of sparks. It could be anything really. It could be like type of like pattern that I see or a jacket and the way it fits and the shape. So an interesting example is that this character was actually inspired by someone I saw in the real world. So my wife and I were out shopping in a department store, and this lovely woman was helping us, and she had this just rad hairdo and these giant hoop earrings, and like her like up bun was like a perfect sphere. It was amazing. It was really cool. Like her sense of style and fashion, everything was just fantastic. And I used some of that to draw this character and pulled from it. Once I have a good idea for the character, what they're wearing and everything, and their kind of look and like, hey, how are you standing? What are you doing? I start to think, okay, now what dog would pair well with them? What kind of story are they going to tell when they're together? I try to look for any kind of story in there. Sometimes I'll see it right away, and be like, oh, well, obviously, you're going to have a pit bull. Obviously, you're going to have two chihuahuas, and it just works so well. Other times I go back to trusty Google image search, and I have a bookmark actually of like just different dog breeds. And I can just scroll through and find really interesting shapes and faces. And, I try to look for stuff that speaks to the character that I'm thinking about drawing. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You look like you would be with that person. And that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now you know how I think, what I do, and my whole process to approaching illustration. I hope that you guys can use some of this stuff. And to do a quick recap, first of all, let's see, you want to find a theme so you don't just have to invent something new every time. Do like a week theme or a month theme or like a 30-day challenge, something just to kind of keep you on track. And then set up some rules for yourself to follow so you don't, overblow some project. Keep it simple, give yourself a box to work within. It'll really, really help. And then lastly, just have a general direction that you want to head, and I think once you have a theme and some rules figured out, that'll really come to light. And when in doubt, pull reference, go out, explore the world, meet people, talk to people. You know, don't wait to be inspired. Go and seek out inspiration. Or just, you know, find something and copy it and learn. Do something, okay? So I hope this stuff helps you guys. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. I would love to share more of this stuff. Thanks for your time. See you next time.